I'm Zach Grosfeld. I'm your host of the Auxoro Podcast, the voice of music artists, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is the first podcast I've ever done, and before we get into the actual episode, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing a podcast in the first place. So when I first started Auxoro, I was reaching out to any artist that I thought was dope over email. I was calling them, anything to just get a portion of their time long enough to interview them about the things that I didn't see out there already, the things that you can't find in a Wikipedia page or a Spotify bio or a simple Q&A. I wanted to dig deeper into the music. I wanted to know what an artist was thinking in a songwriting session, the anxieties that run through them, that course through their veins before they step on stage, the shit that goes through their head when they go through a breakup or they're on a tour bus or they're getting ready for their first live show, just anything that you wouldn't know unless you asked them. And I wanted to sit face to face and have honest conversations, and I wanted to make myself uncomfortable because I had never done a podcast before, and I was thinking of maybe, warming up, practicing, but fuck it. Like, I just emailed Mod Sun's manager, his sister Danielle, and she hit me back and said, yeah, of course, we're at the Brooklyn Bazaar. Let's do this before the show. So I walked up. I was with my older brother, Matt, and we walked in backstage to the Brooklyn Bazaar. It was cool. I walked in and Ma was rolling up a J. He was FaceTiming his girlfriend. And as soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up and he dapped me up. And it was one of the happiest encounters I've ever had in my life. He had never met me before, but this dude was so fucking happy to see me. Like, his eyes just lit up, like, and that just made me light up. And I'm like, oh shit. They're like, oh shit, dude, what's up? Fuck, yeah. Like, I don't even know what we're doing right now. Like, everyone was so happy. And we just sat down the next 35 minutes. We talked about life. We talked about music. But more importantly, we just talked without me trying to make a story out of it or trying to, get interesting content that would cause people to click on this. Like, we just vibed out and talked and had an honest conversation. And yeah, I was uncomfortable for parts of it. And that's what I wanted because I'd never done this before. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Mod Sun.
We're in, baby. It's go time, motherfucker. Yeah.
So first of all, Mod, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I woke up in Boston, got in the motherfucking van, fell asleep again, woke up in New York City, went and did some shopping. I'm smoking some weed right now. The show's gonna be awesome tonight.
Oh yeah.
I'm on a high from this tour. It's all going awesome, man. Everything is great. And I woke up this morning. It's like the best thing ever.
Right here at the top of my note page, I have a little message to remind me. It says, "Be happy, baby."
Yeah, there you go. There you go. My guy's smiling over there.
You woke up, and that's a reason to celebrate.
That's exactly
and we
right.
both fucking woke up today. Different cities,
Yep.
but we woke up,
Yep.
and we're here. So
Yep.
let's fucking celebrate a
That's
little
what I'm
bit.
saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I promise we're going to celebrate. You feel the air, baby. You finna feel me. Hey.
So I listened to your audiobook, Did I Ever Wake Up,
Groove.
this past week. And the first thing you go into, one of the first things is the power of saying hello.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And that shit stood out to me because I feel like no one says hello anymore. Like, you can walk by people, you can walk into a room and no one makes it a point to go say hello to people.
Yeah.
And I feel like saying hello, you can fuck up someone's day. You can completely change their day by just looking at someone's face and saying hello.
Absolutely.
How are you? What are
Absolutely.
you doing? So like how do you come to spread that message? Like, what makes you want to make it a point to walk up to people and make sure they know you're in the room, like they know you're in the fucking spot? Like,
so like this how that whole idea started for me was like going to house parties, honestly. And you walk into a house party and it's like you don't know anyone there. You don't know whose house you're at even. Like, are you gonna be that kid that just walks in and goes and sits in the corner? Because I promise you, you're not gonna make no friends. I promise you, you're not gonna get no one's attention. I promise you, people aren't gonna remember you. When you walk into the room, you have to be totally like unapologetic about being down with being embarrassed. Like, embarrassment is such a fucking it's the enemy to like being yourself.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I just decided like I'm gonna put myself on the front line of being down to be embarrassed. And honestly, it doesn't backfire like that. Like you think it might, but when you walk up to someone that you never met and you're just like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, I'm Mad. How you doing?" Like, yeah. They're like, "Oh, I'm good. How you doing?" You're like, "Best day of my fucking life, man."
Yeah.
Like what?
If you wait for them to say it to you, a lot of times
like,
people never come up to you. You gotta just start the fire and get things going.
And you know what? Maybe that person might be like weirded out. They might be, but I'm just telling you, like 9 times out of 10, when I do something like that, or when I have my whole life, like it doesn't turn into like this embarrassing thing. So, embarrassment also is a feeling that's felt before it even happens, which is really strange, and it's something that you can overcome. So like I just said, you think it's gonna embarrass you, and then you get up on stage in front of people and do your thing, and it goes fucking great, and it doesn't even happen like that. So the anxiety, all that shit, you just gotta let it go, be down and go on the front line and be embarrassed.
I'm guessing that's something that started when you were younger, and I know you moved around a lot when you were a kid, from like 5 to 10 years old.
Yeah.
You're with your mom, your sister too.
Yep.
What was it like being Derek the kid before you became Odd Son? Like, what was going through your head?
Totally, outwardly to the world, I was totally opposite than the way I am now. Inside my mind, I was the same kid. I've always been in my own world. I was born on a farm, so I literally had no friends, and was inside my mind all day long, all fucking day long, just running around the farm, just having fun. I feel like I've never left that mind state. Like I just have this imagination, and when you're younger, that imagination could be like pretending you're a spy and putting on like your mom's trench coat and climbing a tree and pretending you're like spying on people. Nowadays, for me, it's like turning on music and making music, and I like completely escape from reality, and I'm able to do that, and that goes hand in hand with like when I'm painting, when I'm writing, when I'm doing anything artistically, I escape from reality, and that's kind of like that's the one thing that stuck with me from when I was a kid. Like I said, outwardly to the world though, I was totally opposite. I was stubborn as hell. At a certain point in my life, around like when my mom and my sister finally relocated us to like a suburb out of the farms, my mom was like, "I need you to make friends, so I'm gonna put you in sports." So sports did a lot for me, but they also fucked me up, because what sports turns into is it becomes like
so much competition.
It's just like you're competing as your own teammates. Yeah. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Fuck. Yeah, it's cutthroat.
I mean, especially tennis and golf, like those are holy sports to me. It's 1-on-1. It's like you win for yourself, you lose for yourself. There's no one to blame. I like that shit. And teammate shit is like, oh my god, you're trying to be the best on the team. Not only that, you're trying to impress the parents of the other kids on the team. You just want to be the best. You want to be the captain. They actually have captains. Yeah. They say right there in front of everyone who's the best on the fucking team.
You have to want to be the fucking best.
Get the fuck out of here. That's so whack. And like they put a fucking letter on someone, like it's the scarlet letter, like type
there's
shit.
There's a C on your fucking chest.
Like to say this is the best one on the team. No, absolutely not. And it deterred me, and it made me a very stubborn person. It made me very competitive. It made me very frustrated when I didn't perform well. Fucked me up, man, and I think it fucks a lot of kids up. So I was totally opposite, bro. I was like really like not the person I am today at all, and openly about that. Like I decided one day to completely change myself.
And going off of all the shit with sports, like I grew up, I was a baseball player my entire life, like played in college. I've always had that fucking competitive mindset. Like you have to be the best, and it's good, but it also fucks you up in some ways. And I had a lot of
it's not
self doubt, just issues being okay with wanting to succeed and be selfish, and you talk a lot about the word selfish and
Yeah.
how it's not such a negative thing.
Yeah.
And like with competitiveness in sports and music, if you want to take care of others, you have to take care of yourself first and,
Yeah.
and build that platform.
Yes,
So
yes.
what has the selfishness turned inside of yourself that so many people take in a negative way? Like, and I don't. I think more people need to take care of
Absolutely.
themselves
Yeah,
first.
yeah. And one of the things that I'm aware of is like it is slightly in your face or hard to hear for certain people to be like, yo, I'm selfish or be selfish or act selfish. They're like, oh, like why? Um, for me, it was like this, dude. It was like, I know that I want to help the world, right? I know
Mhm.
that. I know that comes with that comes with picking up fucking trash off the ground. I mean, I just want to do
Yeah,
good
all
out
the little
here.
shit. You're
I
still helping
just want to
someone.
do
Yeah.
good out here. So like, that being said, like I can't do good for the world until I fix myself, until I help myself. And like I said, the day I decided to change my life, like if I hadn't have done that and took it upon my own 2 feet to stand up and say I'm gonna be a different person, and like anyone who's gonna try to stop me from being a different person, I am going to be selfish and tell you that this is not your life. Like I'm living my life no matter what. I'm going to sleep at night alone in my head when I go off into those dreams, and like this is my movie. And I feel very, very confident that at the end of my life, if I'm still alive even right now, at the end of my life, like I'm going to watch a movie of my life. And like that's gonna be my final opus, like my last good thing. And at the same time, I think that those images you see of your life depend on if you're a religious person, I think you determine at that moment whether you go to heaven or hell. I think that you watch your movie and you're like proud of yourself or you're not, and if you're not, you get put into a bad
So-
mind state and slip off into there. So like I want my movie to be fucking brilliant, and I want it to be the best movie ever. And in my movie, I don't want to be watching someone else's movie, so I'm gonna be selfish and make sure that like my life is gonna be what I'm watching.
So going off of being selfish and taking that in a good way and just wanting to help the world, you also have to not be afraid to ask the world for what you want. And I was reading a little bit about your first round on Warped Tour as a solo act as Mod Sun, because I know you were on Warped Tour too with a couple bands before, and you actually called up Kevin Lyman and
Yep.
told him your story.
Yep.
Said like, give me a fucking shot.
Yep.
Let me do my thing. Like, let me go on tour. Let me go on stage. Like, I'm fucking Mod. Like, I'm the
Yep.
man.
Yep.
And the next day he called you back and was
Yeah.
like, yeah, fucking get ready. Like, you're going on tour this summer. Pack up your shit.
Yep.
And I think not enough people today think in terms of the bigger things of what they want, and they're too afraid to ask the world for what they want. The worst thing that happens is someone says no. And I think that if you're not asking people for what you want, if you're not willing to get shut down, then you're never going to achieve what
It's
the
like
fuck
that
you wanna do.
embarrassment thing. It's like that same thing. Like if you're afraid to be told no, like you can't expect for anyone to help you ever. You feel me? Like if you're afraid to be told no, no one's ever gonna be able to help you. You're gonna have to do this all on your own. Great, you can still do it. But like if you want something, this is a great quote that I always go by. It's like you can't expect people to act a certain way until you tell them. So that being said, like grudges with friends, between friends and stuff like that, like if it's this thing that happened and you don't say to them what you want, you don't say
Yeah, they
like
can't
this is
fucking
why
read
I'm
your
mad.
mind,
You
like,
can't you can't hold a grudge. You can't be mad at them. I've
A
had
grudge is
so
all
many-
inside your head. Like the other
Yeah.
person doesn't know what's going through your head, and all they're seeing is the emotions
and that
toward
goes
them. Yeah.
that goes the same way for like artists out here. For like me, for like a long time, there's like an artist out here that I've known very well for a long time, and like this person, like I've helped them out at the beginning of their career, and then they skyrocketed into like superstar, and they've never extended the hand to help me like on the terms that I did, like type shit, like take me on the motherfucking tour, like take me on the
tour.
big old arena tour, motherfucker. You know I need the help. That being said, like I expected that to happen because it was like a known thing. Like you helped me out at the beginning, I'm gonna help you out. It wasn't maybe a known thing because I never necessarily told that person what I expected in return type shit. And I'm not saying you do things in return. I'm just saying if you have an idea of something, like I did a solid here, I want help, or I want this, or I want that, like you cannot expect to get that until you tell the person what you want. And like you got to be, again, down to be like that person. Like it sucks sometimes asking for favors. I get it.
It seems like a lot of artists have gotten their start with you, and you've, like you said, you extended the hand to bring them on tour. You have guys like Black Bear, Jeezy, Nash, all these guys that have gone on. They've shot on to superstardom, and they all got plaques. They all got plaques, baby. Shout out my boys, man. I'm proud of all motherfuckers. They're getting plaques, and like that's the attitude. That's the attitude that I see that you have. You don't give a fuck if like other people in their minds might think like, oh, like these dudes are passing mod. Like what the fuck are, like what is he doing and shit like that. But I actually, you've never went down. Like you've been on a steady rise. Other guys, like they blow up when they're 20, 21, and then they're like a shooting star, and then they fucking flicker out.
There you go. I mean,
so like, why wouldn't you want to be on stage when you're in your 30s, like still fucking going up and still going up? And
like I'm 30 years old, about to turn 30 fucking 1 years old, and I am now finally feeling like a feeling of an artist starting to like have kind of a miracle happening. You know what I'm saying? I think artists get a miracle in their life, and that's when like things change and shows start selling out, and you're seeing new faces, and people are hearing your songs that have never fucking seen your face. So like that's kind of happening for me right now. I'm 31. Like I'm not late into my career, I'm far into my career, and and that's kind of my whole tone of everything right now is just like, yo, like man, like I always wanted longevity, and I was totally also fine with like I live like I'm dead, low key. Like the art I make, to me,
living for your
is
legacy,
more important when I'm gone than it is here. Plain and simple. Whether it gets celebrated while I'm here, I came to terms with it years ago. Like after being on tour for fucking half my life and not selling out shows, like still playing shows last year, guys, to like fucking 10, 20 people sometimes. I'm not kidding. It happened. I mean, I did a Europe tour last year.
Which is how many people are going to listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Fuck that. No, we going viral. 5 people listen to it
right now. Like,
we going viral, baby.
Shit,
real shit though. Like I did a Europe tour like a year and a half ago, and played to like 3 or 4 people every night. And like this is like one of those situations where it's just like, wow, man, they put in all this work. Like, you ask yourself, like, am I fucking popping? Like, am I popping? And it's like
to those 3 or 4 people, you are like they're seeing you like through their eyes. They're probably like, holy shit, like this is the best fucking night of my life.
Yeah,
like,
and so like
I have mod looking into my eyes, and performing for me. Like there's 4 people right now, and I'm getting a fucking mod experience.
That feeling was always like cool, but doing that for a long time and being like, you might question yourself at a certain point, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this what I'm meant to do? Like, if I'm playing in front of 4 people still, like, is this a sign saying, like, dog, like, try something else? And, like, what I'm getting around to saying is that, like, I came to terms with myself, like, already that, like, I know this is what I'm meant to do. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. When I get on the stage, it's a holy place for me, and, like, that's it. That's what I do. So, now that things are starting to pick up, like, it's a very gratifying feeling being, like, this stuff that's happening now doesn't make me feel like I'm popping. Like the 20-year-old artist that gets sold out shows and starts making mad money and has videos with millions of plays and all that shit, they're gonna be affected by that shit. They're gonna be like, oh my god, like I'm fucking popping, I'm just like magical. And then what that does is deters a lot of your art and a lot of your struggle that creates greatness. And that's why people fizzle off, is because they start to see what people like of them, and they just
start
zoom
to
in on
their
that.
creative process
They just
to the blow up.
zoom right in on that, because they're like, oh, well, this is what they like of me, so like why wouldn't I give them what they like? And like me, my favorite artist of all time is Bob Dylan. He has tried every genre of music, legitimately. He spent 10 years doing gospel music that no one listened to. Like, I'm serious. Like, the dude has done it all, and he was always one step ahead of people. When he played like Rolling Stone for the first year, he got booed off stage. It's now regarded as one of the best songs, top 5 best songs of all time. Like, that's the feeling I've always gone for, is like, I don't want to be perfect. I like making mistakes. I like being a step ahead. I like doing things that I shouldn't necessarily do. And
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to just take a chance and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
So I wanna switch gears a little bit. You said before the words, "If I'm even alive."
Yeah.
And I've actually been going through an internal, whatever you want to call it, an analysis of
Yeah.
consciousness and reality. And what is this like reality to you? Is this kind of like a hallucination, and like when you go to sleep, that's like a different reality? Like how do you perceive reality?
Okay,
Because
what it really is, it's actually a constant fucking battle, because my book, Did I Ever Wake Up, is that's what it's about. I am not 100% convinced that I got out of a bed one day due to something I did, and I don't know if I got out of bed that day because I went to another world and I got all the answers I was looking for. I got all the secrets I was asking for, everything. And I came to, and my whole life changed since then. Like, that was the day I changed my life. That's what I was talking about. Like, I was in a rock band that day. When I came back to, I quit that fucking band I was in and started doing Mod Sun that second. And since then, like, I've always wanted my life to manifest into what I wanted, and it's always taken like time, but ever since that day, dude, my life has just completely felt like a fucking dream. Like, I'm totally in charge.
I was literally having the same conversation the other day. Matt was actually there. My brother sitting right next to me. Shout out to Matt.
Shout out Matt, man. He on the boards, baby, making us sound crispy.
But yeah, so we were talking about dreams versus being awake, and if your dreams are any less valid of an experience just because you're sleeping versus the reality that we all perceive when we're awake. Because when you're dreaming, you feel emotions, like you feel shit, like shit happens in your dream, and when you wake up, you feel like whatever you just saw, like that shit just happened. Like, I just watched someone get shot, or like I had a friend pass away, and like you wake up completely in that emotion. Like, is a dream any less valid of an experience than reality? And same thing with drugs, like same thing with psychedelics, smoking. Like, a lot of people say, you know, like, oh, they chalk up an existential life-altering experience on drugs, and like
as like yo, like the difference between a vision and a hallucination is other people can see a vision. It doesn't make a hallucination less valid.
No.
Period. That being said, like, my idea with dreams is I've always looked at it like, when I was younger, I always looked at it like every time I lay onto the bed like that and fall asleep, like as soon as I fall asleep, the person right here gets up, and it's like, I don't know which one is life, but I can tell you where I'm at now is that I haven't had dreams for like years and years and years. And just recently, for like the last like 4 months now, I've been having dreams, but they're all nightmares. And I think it's kind of endearing because it's like I don't have a fantasy world that I'm not living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, my fantasy world is like completely right here. And that's what makes me believe that, like, dude, I really don't know if I'm dead or not. I really don't. And like, I don't have dreams. And I lately all I have is nightmares, because it's like the other world that exists outside this thing right here, like, is kind of like scary to me, because like this is the only thing that I can like kind of rely on is like my playground. When I go into like my dreams or something, like I literally am like engulfed in like I think reality is in my dreams, and that's like scary because I fucking hate reality. I can't stand it. Like, I go as far away from my reality as I can. And so I think that the question will forever be how do you fucking even know if you just woke up this morning? If you're still, I mean, how can you even scientifically even be like, oh, this feels more real than my dream? or like,
And when you're in
all of a sudden,
in your dream, it
like,
doesn't. And then when you're in reality, your dream
like,
sometimes
we've
feels
all
more real,
known that we've had a dream that felt so fucking real, like exactly this real, like this exact
like this could be
real.
a dream right now. We're dream casting.
Yes, because dreams don't have like this, like, you know, this feeling of like being in a dream and all that. Like, okay, Waking Life is one of my favorite movies ever, my entire life. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's all about lucid dreaming. You have?
I haven't.
Oh my God.
Waking Life.
Richard Linklater or whatever did it.
I need to go check it out.
It's fucking phenomenal, bro. It's all about the idea that when you die, there's 10 seconds of brain activity going on. After all the oxygen, everything leaves your body, there's 10, I think it's 10, it's either 10 seconds, 10 minutes. Sorry. For lack of better terms, I'm still here. I'm telling you the story.
But you're dead regardless.
In that time, you're dead. And in that time, if you've taught yourself how to lucid dream, you can now live an entire life.
Within that period of time.
Yes, because we've all had a dream where we fell asleep for 5 minutes and it felt like hours. And so...
or even just how, like, adding a simple drug into the equation, like smoking or tripping out, like, just changes an entire perception of time. Like, your reality, your biological existence can be completely fucked up by just adding, you know, a simple drug into your system. And the things that you experience during that period of time, I don't think are any less valid, because you're still experiencing, even if it's through a different lens, and then you're coming back to a different reality, not the only reality. It's just a sober reality speaking.
Like my outlook on drugs is like I've never done pills or needles. Never done that shit. Never will. It's not my gig. Never could do that.
Needles freaking out.
I've toyed around with all the hallucinogens, all that shit. My idea on that stuff is like it's fucking, again, it's like, it can be the coolest thing, it can be the scariest thing ever. And at the same time, like, those drugs are awesome when you're on them, and when you're off of them, it fucking can freak you out, because it's like, damn, it's like everything I was just feeling not real. Like, was all the good I was just feeling, like, why does it go away? Like, why does this, like, enlightened feeling of, like, I got it all figured out, and then I wake up the next morning, I forget what I was, like, feeling. Like, why is that a real thing? So I think that, like, for me, I think that, like, William Blake said, I believe in a long deranged sense, like an experience of long deranged senses. So spending a day doing drugs, I think, is not the ticket. I think spending like a week doing drugs,
just getting in the right mindset. If you're gonna do something, you gotta commit to it.
It's like, like, you gotta, like, to get the sweetness from something like that, you have to walk through the fire, low key. And if you just go into it and have a great time and do drugs and have a great time, when you come out of it, it can be very scary. If you go into it and do drugs and it's like a deranged sense of like good and scary and evil and great and euphoric, and also
it's all about the mindset going.
Yes, it's like the battle. If you can, like, beat the drug, I think that it'll do something for you. And that's the only way that, like, I like to advise it, because I don't like to tell people to do things. I like to do whatever I want to do. I don't like to be told what to do, so I don't like to tell people what to do. But, like, if I do have any kind of input on that, having songs about that stuff, writing about that stuff, it's like, like, I believe in a long deranged sense.
So speaking of psychedelic experiences, I came across a story with you and MGK, Machine Gun Kelly.
I'm excited to hear this one, because there's like fucking goddamn 8 now.
So I'll give you the version that I heard. I think you actually, this might be coming from you. I think I saw it on another interview. You guys were out in the desert. It was pitch black after some suits came to visit on set of or General Admission. You're doing some creative directing for the cover art. And you guys are out in the pitch black desert. And were you on acid or DMTs? Something trippy.
It was LSD and
LSD.
Also like fucking some other shit.
And you guys are out there by yourself, and all of a sudden he grabs you, or first he throws a knife
Yeah.
up into the air.
He's obsessed with knives.
Yeah, he's
first
obsessed
off.
with knives.
He's obsessed with fucking knives and throwing knives.
Ready at all times.
And Rook, his drummer, is the drummer who's throwing his sticks up in the air all the time. So he's obsessed with knives. So both of them just sit around and push each other more and more.
It's a bad combination. Just fueling the fire.
And like legitimately, we get out into the middle of the desert and we're on drugs. And like Kels looks at me and he's like, Mod. He's like, when you do drugs, you get happy. He's like, when I do drugs, I get dark. And he fucking takes the knife, throws it up in the air, grabs my face like this for like a solid 5 seconds. And I'm like, bro. I like literally like get away and it like falls like right here into the ground. And I'm just like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, I don't want to fucking hang out anymore. I was like, I'm done. And I just start running, bro. And like the scariest shit is like when we're in Joshua Tree and it was like pitch black. Yeah. So like there's no trails where we are. I'm like running as fast as I can through like bushes and all this shit.
And you also got bit by a rattlesnake before that.
Yes.
Like a different scenario.
In my head, I'm already like, fuck. Great, here we go. Like, I'm about to fall in a hole. I'm going to get bit by a rattlesnake. Combo, like, some fucking antelope is going to come out and tackle me. Like, it was just... I have, like, many crazy moments with cows because, one of my favorite movies is Almost Famous. Like, and, like, the whole idea of, like, real... I hate this fucking term now, rock stars and all that shit. I like to say superstar now, if anything. But, like...
If you are...
Like, yeah, it's fact. But, like, we really believe in, like... being wild spirits and not being fragile.
Well, you said one of the best things that you love about MGK is that he says whatever the fuck is on his mind, no matter who it is, no matter what you're talking about. Like, and he'll keep it real with you 24/7.
That comes with his fans too. Like if his fans
he's
walk
like
up
told
to
people
him,
to fuck off, like get the fucking camera out of my face, like talk to me like a human being. Like goes back to saying hello, like fucking say hello to me, like don't just stick a camera in my face. Yeah.
And like I've learned so much from him because of that attitude, because it's like that again is very endearing to me that someone's like just so not trying to be politically correct, because that shit's like ugly, bro. Especially if you like really want to be remembered. Like me and him are about history and like actually like doing something that lives, you know. And like Kels gets like mad bummed about like the industry not showing him the love he deserves.
Yeah, because he had bangers on his last album and he doesn't get any radio play. He deserves to be. That album was a masterpiece.
Yeah, and like he works really hard, and you know now he's working in the acting industry, and like they're accepting him like fuck, and it's like he's put his whole life into this music shit and y'all still want to snub him, but like he can jump over to like a whole new fucking facet and they're like celebrating him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So like I try to just remind him too that like what I like to say to my close friends that I really feel they're doing something special, like my girl and someone like Kels and shit like that, is like people like me, like I can't expect everyone or even like hardly anyone to walk into any art gallery in the world and pick out the masterpiece on the wall. Like I can, okay? I know that I'm working to be the masterpiece on the wall. And I can't expect my neighbors to just walk into the gallery and see a masterpiece. You know? They're going to pick the fucking art that looks nice on their fucking wall with their little IKEA set and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about masterpieces here. And if I can't trust the world to see a masterpiece in an art gallery, how can I expect them to understand what I'm doing?
And that goes back to not only seeing art, but hearing it, because you've worked with all these younger artists. You brought them on tour. They've blown up, and obviously you have an ear for what will eventually become a masterpiece, even if at the time it isn't.
I have Schoolboy Q's first feature he's ever done for someone on one of my songs. Like before Schoolboy Q even had an album out, I had him on my shit. So like I do have an ear for what it is, and like again, I can see a masterpiece, and I can see that, and I'm very, very happy for a lot of these people. I'm happy for everyone for sure that I've had anything to do with it. I'm almost happy for everyone in the industry that's getting theirs. But like, I feel a sense of graciousness though, because like I'm not meant to be this like here today, gone tomorrow, plastic, little bullshit that sounds good for a couple years. Like, I'm meant to literally make sure that my last album sounds better than it does now. In 10 years from now, it sounds better. And then 20 years, it sounds better than that. And then when I'm dead, it sounds fucking like something you never heard before.
If Kells doesn't kill you first.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have to ask, are there any stories with Kells that are not out in the open yet? And it could be with someone else too. Any fucked up shit, any deranged experiences, any dark, ominous tones.
I'll tell a little Aaron story. I'll tell a little Aaron story.
I actually.
Because nowadays, bro, just to be totally honest, like, I got people telling me I gotta not use too many people's names all the time anymore, because I'm blowing up their spot. But little Aaron, he loves it. He loves it. He's my little brother. Aaron. Yeah. Me and little Aaron, we were on tour with Black Bear like 6 or 8 months ago.
Dude, me and my brother saw you at Irving Plaza with Black Bear, little Aaron. We
smashed that show.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking incredible.
So me and little Aaron were sharing a bus on that tour, so we like became like closer than ever, obviously, as you can imagine. And like this one night, he was already gone from the venue. So like the show just ended. I was like, "Where's Aaron?" And everyone's like, "Oh, check your phone." He's like blowing you up, and he's like, "Yo, come to this bar now." Like 30 texts, and he sends me the address. He's like, "No, I got you an Uber." This is how bad he needed me to come. That he like gets me an Uber, pulls up. I get in. It takes me to this like little like, dude, little shack, and I walk in. I can hear, as I get out of the Uber, I can hear what I think is maybe Lil Aaron's voice singing. And I walk in, and he is fucking wasted in front of like 30 old, like 50-year-old, like wasted motherfuckers. And he's singing Jesse McCartney. Oh my God.
What was it? Is it Beautiful Soul?
Yes. Beautiful Soul. Yep. Which is apparently his go-to karaoke song. So anyways, I walk into that. It's literally how I open up the door to see. And I had just got like a shitload of acid. And so we walked out the bar after we got wasted, closed. We walked out the bar, and there was like this bridge. And so we went over and sat by this bridge, and I had this like Charles Bukowski book, and Aaron's mom is an English teacher, and she always used to read to him. So like on tour, I would always read Aaron.
So I'm like reading his mom. Like, I can't fall asleep unless mom reads to me, and I gotta have someone tuck me in.
Bro. So I'm reading him Charles Bukowski poetry. We're both high as fuck, and we end up like going under the bridge, and we're so hot, bro. We're going crazy. It was like 4 hours. We're under this bridge, like walking around. We end up jumping in the little stream and like swimming down this stream. It was so beautiful. It was like right as the sun was coming up. It looked like fucking Jumanji. It was insane. And like, this is the first time Aaron ever tripped.
This is the first time Aaron ever tripped. Okay.
And so like everything is perfect. Everything is awesome. Okay. The only thing that sucked is like we're like soaking wet, and we're like kind of realizing that we're just kind of in a swamp. We're pretty nasty now.
But
we get out, and I'm still trying to like lead this shit and be like, no, it's all right. We good. Best night of your life, bro. We get out, and I'm like, all right, let's just like we're gonna get out of the stream, because now it's like 8:30. Like the world is alive now. This is when you want to. This is when you want to be done. This is when it's time to be done and shit. Yeah. So look, I'm like, let's get out. Let's just get out right here. We'll call it Uber. It'll pull right up. And we get out, and I go under this fence, and we walk in. All of a sudden, I'm like, yo, this doesn't look right. And find out we fucking just broke into a state national park. And like, there's people like in the distance, like looking over at us, like, what, like working, like setting up a national park that's clearly not open to the public yet. It's like setting up a carnival that's gonna come.
This is like before people are walking in.
Yeah, this is like before the carnival's even like set up. Like this is for like weeks in advance, and like we're broke in, and so they start chasing us, bro. And we run, and I'm thinking that there's like this opening in this fence, and we get there, and there's literally no opening. So like this barbed wire fence, and I'm literally like, Aaron, we have to do it. And we fucking start climbing this fence. We get over it. We rip our shit to shreds. We jump back into the fucking swamp, swim back up it, because the thing that we did was we jumped in a swamp that took you into the fucking park. So like we started swimming back the next way. We get out. It's like 9:30 now. The first Uber that pulls up, and I'm like still like, Aaron, it's all good. At this point, he's kind of freaked out. Like he's like, dude,
Like,
get me home. What the fuck? Yeah. And like I'm like, it's all
Charles
good.
Bukowski,
Yes.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Yes, facts. So like, so the first Uber rolls up. It pulls up across the street, looks over at us. We start walking to it. Literally bones out. And at that point, I was like, oh shit, we might be fucked. Because we were like, I just remember, like, I had remembered at that point that Aaron had got me an Uber that made us like really far from the fucking venue. So like, bro, we went through like 4 Ubers like that. Aaron was so freaked out, bro. It was like the worst. We were soaking wet. And then we finally got it and we made it back home and it was all good. Yeah.
And it all started out with a cover of Jesse McCartney.
Facts.
Beautiful Soul. That song fucks people up.
It does. It does. You can't trust that song.
You can't trust Jesse McCartney. Never. I don't think he made that song 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever the fuck it was, and thought it would be the start of a crazy night.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Shout out Jesse McCartney.
Yeah, shout out Jesse McCartney. So the tour you're on right now for Baby, how did the whole album process kind of start? Because I know you released Happy Baby first, and things kind of got started rolling from there. Were you planning on releasing an album? Did you kind of start the whole creative process once Happy Baby kind of blew up?
So like, this is exactly how it happened. Is that me and Bella became really good friends, like long before we were dating. Yeah, long before we were dating, and I had made that song Happy Baby because I was about to take a flight to Minnesota and I had like an hour and I was just like, fuck it, I haven't made anything in a while. Let me just turn this shit on. And I was just trying to make something really quick and I made it and got on the plane, went to Minnesota and my homie had a camera, Brandon. Shout out Brandon. He had a camera and he was like, you got any like tracks right now? Let's just shoot something. I was like, all right, fuck it. And I had Happy Baby, so shot like a 20-minute video for it. And he edited it, sent it to me, boom, came back. And I showed Bella. I was like, yo, like, check this shit out. And she's like, yo. She's like, this is fucking amazing. She's like, you got to drop this right now.
The song's popping.
Yeah. She's like, you got to drop this right now. The video, like, I already had the video and everything. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. And
did literally she direct the next day,
no. No, she didn't direct that. She just, so like, anyway, she told me, she was like, I love this. You got to drop it. So the next day, and I never do this type of shit. I never just drop something out of nowhere. It's never been my style before, even though I've wanted to. I was just like, okay, like, I really respect Bella's opinion. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I dropped it and it came out and it just like took off and did awesome. So that being said, I was like, all right, like I should probably drop a project. And I just basically just sat for like 30 days and made like as many songs as I could, as fast as I could. Like I'd make the beat in like 30 minutes to an hour, turn on the mic, go, rap the shit, sing my ass off, edit it up, boom, 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 and then be done and not want to go back. And I took all like the songs. I would make like 20 songs a week, literally. It's like how I roll. And I would send all of them to her. And she'd be like, this one, this one. Facts. And like so because
and this was all when you guys were friends. So you trusted her that much before.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, the day me and Bella met, we talked for like 12 hours and then ran through the fountain of the Plaza Hotel in New York City. Like,
shout out Plaza
like
Hotel.
I was just like, yo, like, oh yeah, we're in New York City. Oh my god. Hey, are we staying in town tonight?
No, we're leaving actually. We're driving tomorrow.
Fuck, I want to stay at the Plaza. No, we're gonna do it. We're staying at the Plaza.
If a Plaza's listening right now, leave a room open.
Yo, facts. And like, yo, yeah, I just had like this insane connection with her of like someone that I felt like I was like the same as, and it never has happened before in that like area. And so I just like trusted on that shit and was just like, fuck it, like drop the shit, see what happens. And I made all the music on it too. So like I think that kind of encapsulates why maybe this music is doing better now than any of the preceding stuff, you know. So
speaking of hotel,
yeah,
what what the fuck is hotel motel? Because I just came across
Yeah.
this the other day. I had no idea you
Hotel
and
motel
Blackberry
is
dropped
amazing.
this shit, and like,
Well, look,
I
here's
didn't
the
see
facts.
anything.
Here's
Then
the
I
real-
listened to the
here's the
entire
real
thing, and I'm like,
facts.
oh my god.
Here's the
like,
real facts. Hotel Motel is my band. Blackberry has nothing to do with it. He was around when I was making it,
Yeah.
and was like, "Yo, like I love this shit.
Let me hop
like,
on."
like yeah, like I wrote all the music. He played bass on a few tracks. I wrote all the words on everything that he would re-sing over, except for a few parts. That being said, I was down to do it as a band and type shit, but then he started doing that mansions and shit, and I was just like, nah. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, part of, like, some side project scheme. Like, I'm fucking Hotel
I wanna do
Motel.
my own shit,
I
yeah.
came from rock bands and that
Yeah.
type of shit. So, the whole story with that is I've had
You
guitars
started
around
as a
me.
drummer, yeah.
Yeah, but I've had guitars around me my whole life. Guitar was my first instrument, and I could never play guitar, and I had it around me my whole life. The same day that Kells almost killed me in Joshua Tree, I also that afternoon roamed out into Joshua Tree on drugs with a guitar and found what I considered to be called Desolation Row, and walked down it, and I was just like so fucked up and saying like chanting shit, like was like. Dude, I swear to God, I passed out and woke up, and I
Is
could
this
fucking
with your guitar? Or
with Kel's guitar,
with Kel's guitar?
because he had one on set, and I actually broke it, and it was a guitar given to him by the singer Green Day. I actually broke it while I was on this
Billy
walk.
Joe?
Yeah.
Sorry, Billy Joe.
yeah.
Kel's broke a guitar.
No, I broke
Get
it.
send him another one.
I broke
send,
it,
send Kel's
but it
another
was
one.
Kel's.
My broke the guitar. Send-
Anyways, I like passed out and I woke up, bro, and I swear to you, now I could play guitar. A spirit jumped inside me. I know it. Like a spirit jumped inside me.
and
All
you
of a sudden I
started
could play guitar.
shredding.
As I'm walking back to the campsite and shit, like I'm writing a song and I'm like playing guitar and I'm like, holy shit. And I'll never forget the lyrics were like, so I'll chase the sun until it goes down. So I'll chase the sun as far as I can, because it won't be long until we both go down. And I was like writing this fucking crazy ass song, and I got back and I went back to my house and my studio the next day, and I sat in there for like a month and a half, just all of a sudden could play guitar. Like just a spirit inside of me, bro. And I wrote all those songs, and on top of the songs that are out that Hotel Motel's released, there are like fucking like 50 other ones from that time period that are amazing. And then one day the spirit left, and I
And
can't
you couldn't play guitar anymore?
Nope.
If I put a guitar in your hands right now, you wouldn't
I
be able-
could do
you
stuff.
dabble a
I
little
could
bit.
play like I could play
But
shit.
the spirit's gone.
Spirit's
The
gone.
spirit's gone.
Like I was writing dope music, not understanding what was going on. I understood guitar, and now I don't understand guitar. It's a weird
That
thing.
makes sense.
But the spirit, like I recognized it. I knew it was with me. Like I saw a spirit last night, actually. That ass.
What was he doing? Or she?
It was in the hotel room.
Just chilling?
It just like opened up the door and walked in, and I like looked up like this, and I was like, looked over at both of y'all, and y'all was just were chilling, and I was like, oh word, yep, yeah. I said it out loud. I was like, you're in here. Facts, but I
Some
mean,
wild shit.
I'm not scared of it. Like I know there's a spirit.
You would invite the
There's a
spirit
spirit
back.
that follows
There's
me
time and
everywhere,
place.
but it doesn't show itself always. Like it does. So when it does, I am happy to see it. But I know there's a spirit that follows me, and sometimes it helps me out, and sometimes it looks out for me, and sometimes it's just like wanting to witness what I'm doing.
So, to wrap up, I know you're huge on speaking things into existence.
Yes.
And yes. Is that the spirit talking, or is that mine?
Yes, I am here with you. I am here. I'm coming for a little while. Watch out.
So yeah, speaking things into existence, letting people know what the fuck's going on in your head, and saying, I'm not afraid of what you think. Like, that shit's going to fucking happen. Whether you think I'm a joke or not, like, that shit is going to happen one day.
Yeah.
And to end off this
Austin.
podcast,
Read that.
is there anything for this upcoming year that you have not said yet to yourself or to anyone else that you would like to speak into existence? Could be something small, could be something big you have planned, but something
know
that you
what?
want people to know is going to happen regardless of what the fuck you think.
You know what? It's like this, dude. It's like, for the first time ever, I think that, like, the one thing, like, working for me right now is that I'm allowing people to see, like, someone be like unapologetic and not trying to live some fucking lifestyle, some brand, some bullshit like that. And I think that all of the speaking things into existence for me has led up to this moment right here, where I kind of let myself be a channel at this point. And that being said, like I'm kind of clearing my mind of having specific goals right now, because I think my biggest goal is to like show the world a real ass human being, like a real ass creative, a real ass artist, a real ass crazy motherfucker,
like everything, like
yes.
art, fashion,
a real person out here like going fucking crazy. Like crazy is my best personality trait, and the word crazy was made up by ordinary people to explain the extraordinary. I want that to be known. Like that's facts. Crazy is great. And so I'm my biggest goal is like I'm just asking the universe to like really at this point like allow me to totally 100% be me and honest with everything, and not try to have necessarily like this message or this manifesto of like how to get through this point. Now I think that all of the things I've done have led me to right here, and that this is like a new chapter of me being like, okay, like maybe why it's starting to work right now more than ever is because people are seeing a side of me that is actually somewhat attractive on the outside. I'm not talking attractive like pretty, even though I am. I'm talking like attractive to like look into the life of. And I think that all the things I've done are going to be very, very fun to look at when you find out about who I am and look into like the history of what I've done and shit like that, and not have everything just be right on a platter for you. So like I think that maybe what's looking good to people now more than ever is the fact that like they're just seeing someone that doesn't necessarily look like they belong here. You know what I'm saying?
And just kind of carving your own path regardless.
Yeah, just letting them be able to open up the book and not trying to force them to like look at it, but be like, there's this little like maybe like a miracle thing that I'm trying to talk about, which is that like I'm trying to make really, really high art, but I want the whole world to see it. So like the conundrum is like, how do you fucking turn your art into something that everyone wants to go and learn about, not see initially and be like, wow, amazing, but be like, why do I want to look into this person's life? And why do I want to open up the book? So I want to.
Why do I want to talk to Maud and learn about his life and share with people on a podcast? Because I saw your music, your visuals, and was like, yo, I need to fucking learn about this person. Like, what the fuck goes through this person's head?
Man, well, thank you.
And how does he put it into the world?
I appreciate this conversation. We had a good ass conversation.
Yeah.
What's up, girl? Yeah.
But before you bring that to the world, people are gonna fucking learn here tonight in Brooklyn. You're gonna blow it the fuck out in the bazaar.
You finna feel me, baby. We gonna party tonight, motherfucker. Hey.
Let people know where they can follow you at and all that
Yo,
good shit.
MODSUN stands for Movement on Dream, Stand Under None. I'd love to be your new best friend. Just Google me. You'll find fucking tabs and tabs and tabs of acid. No, I'm just playing. You'll find tabs of information and shit. But like, look it up, man. I really would like to. I would like to meet you this year if you haven't met me yet. And like, check it out. I write books. I make art. I make music, and I just want to fucking have a good time, man. So I'd love to be a new friend. MODSUN. And great podcast, by the way, bro.
I appreciate it.
Awesome ass fucking questions.
I appreciate
man.
that.
You got a good. Hey, you got the gift of gab, baby. You got a good talk, Jack. You got good talk. You feel me? We gonna give him something to talk about tonight. Hey, it's your new best friend, my son.
You heard
we
it
out
here.
this motherfucker.
If you listen to this episode and you thought to yourself, I'd probably listen to the next one, please go subscribe, comment, and rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening to this podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, wherever. Go fucking shout the Auxoro Podcast from the rooftops, because that is the only way that people find out about us. And it really does go a long way. It's you guys sharing and spreading the word, and I really do appreciate it. And if you didn't like this podcast, well, you already listened to the whole thing if you got this far, so that means I tricked your ass into listening to it. So whether I tricked you or you genuinely like this episode, go tap that motherfucking 5-star, baby. This episode was mixed and mastered by Mac Grossfeld, who also happens to be my brother. He was nice enough to help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Also, no one else was available. I'm just kidding. Matt is the reason why this podcast runs as smoothly as it does. He comes with me for every single episode I record with every artist. He helps me with the setup, like I said, with mixing, mastering, making sure the sound is good, all the stuff that I have no idea how the fuck to do. He makes sure that everything runs well, and I'm really grateful for it. He spends a lot of time working on it, and I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now if it weren't for him. Tune into our episode next week with the legend Wyclef Jean. We talk about getting high as fuck. He goes into what it's like to make music with sounds from Jupiter and a lot of other trippy shit, but also a lot of other important shit too, and you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you to everyone who's listening to this right now. I love connecting with artists, I love connecting with people, and I love getting to know you guys. So if you want to talk about music, if you want to talk about life, if you just feel like venting about some shit, you can drop me a line at zach@auxoro.com. That's ZACH at Auxoro. You can follow us at Auxoro on Instagram and Twitter, but Facebook is at Auxoro Mag. Until next time, just keep on being beautiful people. Yeah, just keep being beautiful people. See you next time.